Avian therapy teams, a colorful connection. In this session, you will learn what skills companion birds need to be good therapy animals, the commitment and training required for avian therapy teams, considerations that help create positive experiences for your community as an avian therapy team, and steps to becoming a registered avian therapy team with pet partners. Just to introduce myself briefly, my name is Kate Lane, and I've been a Pet Partners handler with Cecily since 2014. I've had birds as a part of my family and many other pets practically my entire life. I also handle a Sphinx cat named Cole. We've known for ages that companion animals improve human lives. Traditionally, dogs have been raised and trained to be therapy companions, but across the United States, many species of companion animals are kept and improve the lives of those around them. Parrots and doves make excellent therapy animals for several reasons. Their gregarious and social nature makes them a naturally outgoing choice. The birds qualified for this work truly and obviously enjoy it and find it to be an excellent enrichment for themselves as well. Part of that outgoing nature includes a variety of natural behaviors and antics that companion birds tend to exhibit. These might include things like speech, dancing, or the occasional trick. Clients tend to find these behaviors engaging, and they tend to bring a smile to every face in the room. Many companion birds do these behaviors naturally on their own, just for the reaction. The intelligence exhibited by companion parrots and doves leads to an intuitive nature. They are very in tune with what's happening around them, the emotional state of the humans in the room, and what's going on. I have found in my experience that this often lends to the bird keying in and connecting in deep and meaningful ways with clients. One thing the average dog handler doesn't get is the opportunity for many purely educational visits. By doing therapy work with an animal like a parrot or another avian companion, we often find that we get the opportunity to educate about things like conservation, endangered species, and wildlife. This is a unique opportunity and something that really makes a difference in both our clients and for the bird's wild counterparts. And of course, clients remember their visits with a companion bird. Because most people don't get a chance to encounter them very often, it's a highlight for them and something they tend to remember long after the visit ends. Companion birds are a good choice for many types of visits. They make excellent companions for reading programs in schools and libraries. We find that often the birds are very interested in the stories and the illustrations and the iambic pentameter of the reader's voice. School reading and therapy programs are also an excellent choice. The children find the birds unique and engaging, and so are often very motivated to work with them. Some rehabilitation centers and retirement homes will welcome avian therapy teams as well. Birds are able to brighten days and bring smiles, as well as perform some animal-assisted therapy tasks while motivating clients to participate. Some medical facilities may also welcome birds. However, most facilities are not familiar with them as therapy animals and may request some additional information from you in their decision-making process. Depending on the type of patients, it may not be feasible due to zoonosis risk or other concerns. Social visits are one of the most wonderful ways to bring a smile to a client's day. In these types of visits, the only agenda is to make the client happy with a friendly, uplifting visit from your team. Companion birds can be a great conversation starter. Reading programs are also an excellent option for avian therapy teams. These programs offer school-aged children the chance to practice their reading skills with an animal friend who's never going to judge and is just happy to hear them read. Birds get engaged in the story and illustrations, adding to the enjoyment. Over time, it's found that these types of programs significantly improve reader confidence and skill levels. Stress breaks are another important and fun type of visit. This type of visit is becoming more common at universities and office places across the country and offers stressed adults a small break from their day with a loving animal friend. Educational visits are a fantastic opportunity to make learning really memorable too. These are often invited into schools to talk about habitats, conservation, and birds in general and help augment local STEM programs. Birds are an excellent partner in physical and occupational therapy visits. There are a lot of activities that can be done with them that a therapist could fit into a treatment plan. These could include things like offering a light bath with a spray bottle, fine motor skills offering treats, touch and reach activities, and more. If you're working in an animal-assisted therapy capacity, you'll need to work with a therapist in charge to determine what activities might be a good fit for both the client and your bird. Regardless of the type of visit, it's nearly always a new and memorable experience for our clients. In a way, to a degree, they are all a little bit social, a little educational, and a little bit therapeutic for everyone. Just about any species of parrot or dove can make an excellent therapy pet. Cockatiels, macaws, conures, and even pigeons can all have what it takes. What is important is that you have a strong relationship with your bird and that they have a few basic traits that make them suited for visits. A therapy bird has to like people. They need to enjoy meeting new humans and socializing with them confidently yet gently. Manners are key. This means while the bird should be confident, they also shouldn't see humans as a living jungle gym full of fun toys like buttons and shiny jewelry, or a place to test new limits on human hearing. Most importantly, they should be generally calm in new or stressful situations. As therapy animals, they can encounter things like balloons, walkers, wheelchairs, loud voices, fast hands, and new places pretty regularly. While you must advocate for your animal and try to reduce any stressors as much as possible, if your bird is a bit of a nervous Nellie, you might have some more socialization work to do before you can really consider therapy work. Birds that make good therapy animals should also be non-aggressive towards people and other animals. Petting is generally a part of therapy work, and if your bird doesn't appreciate being touched by new friends, that would also be something you'd want to work on as well. We learned Cecily might be really great for this work after watching the way he interacted with my daughter. From a very young age, he was always very gentle with her, and we saw a huge degree of understanding of her and her young friends. He eagerly greeted many of them as soon as he could, and still does. He thrives on their laughter and begs for cuddles from nearly every child he meets. The therapy team is a partnership, and just as it's important that the animal has some great qualities, it's important that the handler does too. Of course, it helps to be friendly and outgoing as a handler. In addition to that attribute, professionalism is key. When you're out as a therapy team, you represent yourselves, the type of animal you handle, the animal-human bond, and of course, pet partners too. In order to do this work in a way that is safe and comfortable for your pet, you need to have developed a truly excellent bond with them. This will help you anticipate their behavior and reduce stress or redirect any problem behaviors that might arise quickly. There is a pet partner saying, "You are your animal's best advocate," and it's the most true thing I know. Most pets enjoy therapy work immensely. However, everyone has an off day or limits, including your pet. It's your number one job as a handler to advocate for your animal's needs and ensure their comfort at all times. Naturally, being a therapy team is a huge privilege and not a right. With thousands of teams out and about, it's vital that you're following all pet partner standards and procedures to the letter. It's how we all get to keep doing this work. Those standards are carefully trained on during the registration process. And of course, great handlers are always present. Being vigilant and attentive during interactions helps keep everybody safe and happy. When volunteering with your bird, the time commitment is up to you. You'll arrange your visits based on your schedule and availability. Needs can vary based on the types of visits you're doing. For us, this looks like at least one library session a month with Cecily, and then usually between 1 and 4 other educational events or social visits. We also do the occasional animal-assisted therapy visit with a special needs class based on their needs. Remember, your visits must be limited to no more than 2 hours a day. Consider into the time you are going to spend any time you would spend grooming or preparing your supplies. You'd also need to account for any downtime after your visits. We especially like to go home and play music or have a snack to relax after an eventful visit. At their heart, birds are not domesticated. They are wild animals that share our homes, and so it's important that if they're going to do therapy work, they show the right disposition and socialization to make them a good therapy partner. The best way to work towards that is socialization. As prey animals, things wildly out of the ordinary can make birds a little bit nervous. The more often they're exposed to fun, new situations, and the better socialized they're going to be. When we were preparing to become a therapy team, we spent a lot of time at a local outdoor restaurant and parks that welcome pets, visiting with other patrons. Cecily learned quickly that visiting with new friends in new spaces was very fun and rewarding. He learned that kids could play games with him, folks with long nails gave lovely head rubs, and families would giggle if he just raised his wings to ask for a tickle. Where possible, I highly recommend partnering with a mentor, someone who already does this kind of work or has a behavior background that can help guide you. Preparing to do this work with other local bird friends is also a really fun thing to do and a great way to work together towards a community goal. Harness training is another important component to work on. This doesn't come easy for every bird, but even old birds can learn new tricks. Go slowly. Take a look at some of the avian behavioralists online and review their harness training videos. Many share them as well as personal advice for free because they want to help. Take it slow and make it very rewarding for your bird. It's not instinctual for them like it might be for some other pets. Potty training is actually pretty simple with birds. We know that they go every 10 to 15 minutes. Body language is a great key to go off of, and so it's a good idea to put them where you want them to go when they show signs, and then at intervals after that. Pair a word with a deed and a reward, and they'll catch on really fast. Worst case, if your bird is comfortable with a flight suit, that might be an option as well. Basic manners are an important part of preparing your bird as well. For this, it meant teaching Cecily not to go on a shoulder uninvited. This is a good idea for any bird, as it lets us establish a habit of keeping birds away from one's face where you can easily see them. It also reduces going on a shoulder when the client may be unfamiliar or new to companion birds. Leaving jewelry and buttons undisturbed is vitally important as well, because breaking a client's jewelry and buttons is not acceptable behavior for a therapy animal. Birds are curious and may still be interested, but it's important that you're able to redirect your animal if they get a little too interested. Reliable stepping up is an important skill as well and should be practiced with lots of different people in different situations. And of course, having a way to redirect excessive vocalization that may happen sometimes is important too. It's a great skill to practice, especially important if you're visiting in a quiet space with a bird that is prone to having something to say when you could hear a pin drop. Visits might look a little bit different for everyone, but this is what's typical for us. Cecily and I tend to work with youth primarily. I have a background in education, and working with kids has always been natural for me. We have found that children are very open to new experiences with birds, so this works really well for us, and we find their reactions to be the most rewarding thing out there. Cecily loves partaking in the reading program, so that's our regularly scheduled visit. We go to the library with a local reading program, spend an hour and a half reading with the kids. In our main facility, this generally means each child gets a ticket at the desk and comes to sit with their favorite book for 15 minutes. Then they switch. They usually read for 10 to 12 minutes and then visit, give treats, cuddle, and play for the remainder. Because of Cecily's size, he sits on my lap next to the child. This puts him in a prime spot to enjoy illustrations while avoiding being clobbered with a book by accident or having the kid's arm fall asleep. Another bird team we work with in this program puts a towel over the child's lap and places the bird there. Ultimately, as handlers, we go with what works best for us. We are also often requested at schools. These can be a little bit more freeform, but we usually will have a time block and we'll go in and talk to the kids about birds and some aspect of their lives. This often includes bringing pictures, feathers to touch, or even running a STEM activity like a beak analog lab. This is not really a typical therapy visit, but it's one we do often and that the community appreciates. We make sure that each child in the group has a chance to ask questions and pet Cecily, while learning a little bit more about the animal world around them. Meet and greet style visits are a big one for us as well. Cecily likes these too because he enjoys people watching. Basically, at local events where the org we work with might be educating the community about the work we do, we spend time talking about therapy animals, what makes a good one, and of course answering bird questions and letting people meet Cecily. Again, very freeform, but he finds them rewarding. If he gets tired or looks like he might be feeling stressed, we stop and take breaks. We've never had to end a visit early, but we have had to turn down a visit or two due to extreme distance or other concerns. It's important that however and whoever we are visiting, I stay in tune with him and am honoring his cues. Obviously, the reading programs are a huge favorite for Cecily. You can see how engaged he is just based on his body language. He even has favorite books and remembers his readers visit to visit. Educational visits like STEM programs are also really fun for the birds as well as the clients. These children participated in a beak analog lab to learn how different birds eat and then enjoyed a little bit of time sharing snacks and socializing with the parrots. Grooming is a hugely important part of general care of an avian companion on a day-to-day basis, but is extra important for therapy visits. All birds have a degree of feather debris and dust, and it's very important to minimize this before a visit with a good bath. Baths can work however is comfortable for your bird, but should focus on getting a good soak to the skin for best results, and it'll help your bird feel good too. Options might include spray baths, a standing dish of water, or a shower, so long as the bird enjoys it. We tend to do baths in the morning of a visit or in the afternoon before if it's really a very early morning time, and often find that after a visit with many clients, a second bath in the afternoon might be appreciated. Before we get ready to go, we also make sure that toenails are trimmed and comfortably rounded with a file. Not everyone clips their bird's wings. That's a personal choice. But if it's something you do, double check your wing clip as well as your grooming during your grooming time. If you don't clip wings, remember, flying on a tether or a leash is not considered appropriate for a therapy visit. As you can see, he takes his bath pretty darn seriously. I like to let Cecily air dry outside when I can. He gets important UV exposure that way, and it helps keep him healthy, and I feel like he dries a little bit better. All therapy birds are required to wear a harness on all visits. Many birds will learn to accept a harness with positive reinforcement training. There are two main types of harnesses on the market right now for avian use. Your best bet is to choose the one you and your bird are most comfortable with using. Different birds will show different preferences with one versus the other because they go on a little differently. Harness training will take time if your bird is not already comfortable wearing one. Remember to introduce and acclimate your bird to the harness slowly. Be patient and use positive reinforcement to make the harness a sign that your bird is about to go out and have some fun. There are many great training videos online that show how to acclimate and train in a positive way for each type of harness, and I highly recommend reviewing those before you begin. These are examples of the avian harnesses that are accepted by pet partners. On the right-hand side is an aviator harness. This is an over-the-head harness made of nylon, and the bird's head goes through the small loop while the large loops go around the body and under the wings, and the slide is adjusted for size. A thin elastic leash line is attached to the harness, and this is a very popular and safe choice. On the left is an Avian Fashions flight suit. The bird steps in under the straps, which are then pulled up over the wings. A leash is then added to the Velcro in the back. This type of harness also doubles as a droppings collection device, which functions by collecting droppings, but then keeping them away from the bird's body in a specially designed pouch. This is also a very safe choice. Any harness you choose should be comfortable for you and your bird, as well as not easily removed by the bird on their own. What may work for one bird may not work for another. Always consider having a spare or backup harness with you in case of accidental soiling, unexpected damage, or similar situations. It's very important that you're comfortable handling your bird while keeping the leash in your hand at all times. This can be really awkward to do at first, but practice makes perfect. I find it very helpful to prepare supplies to bring with that will help everyone be comfortable and happy. As such, we have our own visit bag we keep well stocked and replenish after each visit. We keep hand sanitizer on hand and remind clients that it's a good idea to sanitize hands both before and after handling any pet. This is especially good practice for children who may still put hands in their mouths. We always bring paper towels too. Accidents can happen even with trained animals, so I'm always prepared to clean up just in case. An extra harness and leash is a good idea as well. While we've never had an issue, it is possible for some birds to damage their harness or for the harness to become soiled or otherwise damaged unexpectedly. If I have an extra harness along, this ensures we never have to end a visit early for something simple like a harness issue. Treats are a great item to bring as they help make the visit rewarding for the bird, and well, who doesn't love sharing a snack with a new friend? However, given that many bird treats contain allergens such as nuts or seeds, it's really important that you check your labels and bring a few choices. For example, Cecily's favorite treat is macadamia nuts. But of course, many schools are nut-free zones, so we always keep banana chips on hand, which she loves, as well as bird cookies that do not contain nuts, to keep things fun for everyone. Trading cards or takeaways are also a great thing to have on hand and can help remind someone of their special visit with your bird. We get trading cards printed to provide to clients, and then also make bookmarks from time to time that we laminate with feathers in them to provide to our sweet little reader friends. Most locations won't have an easy way to provide water to your bird, and of course it's important for them to stay hydrated. I keep a small bowl and a water bottle in my bag so that I can offer my bird a drink between visits at a location or when he's taking a break. This goes a really long way to help keep him comfortable. Depending on how you work with your bird, other supplies like a small tabletop perch, spray bottle, blanket, or towel could be useful as well. Think about what you might be doing and who you might meet that day and plan accordingly. I can't stress the importance of bringing treats enough. Our friends love offering Cecily something good to eat, and it's fun to talk about just how he eats. Children are especially observant, and watching Cecily enjoy a banana chip or a piece of papaya often leads to them talking about how a person might eat with their feet. Lots of giggles and connection happen all the time from the simple act of being able to offer him a reward. Safe transport will help reduce stress on your animal on the way to their visit. For birds, this means a sturdy carrier. While it's very tempting to allow a bird to travel on a window perch or on your shoulder, this is also very dangerous. The safest option is a hard-sided carrier with bedding in the bottom and minimal hard objects such as perches or bowls, especially if it's just a short trip. You may want to consider training the bird to crate itself using positive reinforcement. This behavior reduces stress on the animal with traveling and makes the carrier a fun, safe place that they're accustomed to. This is especially helpful should your animal need a break, as letting them walk back into their comfortable carrier gets them out of sight and in a quiet place to take a few minutes to relax. I find it very helpful to keep birds in their carrier until we're at our destination, and since we're stopped a little bit less, and it lets us get to where we need to be a little bit faster. The public can be very curious about birds, and I love that curiosity. But at a busy public location like a library, it can be a distraction to be stopped repeatedly just trying to get to our spot so we can begin visiting. If this is the type of visiting you might do, it may save you time and reduce stress to avoid letting your bird out until it's time for the visit to begin. Despite repeated requests for keys of his own, we don't let Cecily drive himself to visits. Working as a therapy team, it's possible that you and your bird will share space with other teams, including dogs and cats. As you may know, birds are a prey animal. Even with the very best trained dogs, it's important that you remain vigilant. Some movements that birds naturally make can cause a great deal of excitement with some dogs, and it can happen really unexpectedly. It's important for you to communicate with other handlers who may not be aware and maintain a safe distance outside of leash range until you know that the other teams are not reactive or stressed by the presence of a bird. If a dog is vocalizing or acting overly excited by the bird's presence, it's a really good idea to visually separate your teams to reduce stress for both the dog and the bird. It's vital to keep everyone safe and calm during visits, including the therapy pets, so that everyone can have a happy and relaxing visit. Because of the programs we work with, we encounter a lot of other teams. We've become really great friends with many of them. Cecily particularly loves to smooch Patsy Swine, a pet partner registered pig in our program, and gets along really well with the dogs. We supervise carefully and never take that friendship for granted. Birds, and especially larger ones, are not something the public has encountered closely before, so it's really important you take care when introducing new friends. I've noticed a lot of people want to offer your bird a hand to sniff, like a dog, when they first meet. So it's important that you explain before they begin just how to approach a new feathered friend. Don't be afraid to translate for your bird. Explain their body language and what it might happen, say if they reach out to pet them or put their arm out for the bird to step up. For example, some birds will use the outside of their beak to touch a surface before stepping onto it. For someone who doesn't know birds, this could look like they might bite. Explain to your client how your bird likes to be touched, and don't be afraid to give them correction or feedback. Petting should be enjoyable for both the bird and the client, and the best way to accomplish this is to gently guide it. A lot of bird owners are very excited to share their birds with others. However, please be careful. Many people have a real phobia of birds based on their movements and past personal experiences or media. Never, ever push someone or force the issue with them interacting with your bird. Some people just aren't comfortable, and that's okay. If they are nervous but they want to greet the bird, go slow and encourage. And if not, that's all right. Be friendly and work with it on their terms. Because the body language is foreign to most people, it's extra important that you monitor the entire interaction with a new friend very carefully. This means if you need to tell new friends to visit one at a time to reduce distractions for yourself or the bird, please feel comfortable doing so. One of the most important things to explain to a new friend is how your bird likes to be petted. They're all a little bit different. For example, Cecily likes the back of his wings, under his wings, and his lower neck petted. Some birds prefer not to have the neck touched by a stranger. Some really like ear rubs, and some don't like to be touched under the wings. Speak up and tell your friends what your bird needs. With some guests, birds as therapy pets can require a little bit of convincing. It's important to be able to break the ice with these new friends. Having a few simple behaviors trained can help a hesitant visitor to relax and enjoy meeting the bird, even if their comfort level doesn't include touching or holding the animal. Treats work great, but you have to be really careful. You want to make sure you have a large enough piece that your client feels comfortable. Not everyone's offered a goodie to a bird before, but by the same token, you want to make sure they don't get too full too fast. Also, just be mindful of allergies of others when you offer treats. Having some great facts about the species of bird you work with or about your specific bird can be a huge help too. You'd be amazed what personal stories and experiences you hear when you start talking about the rainforest or parrots in homes. We've taught Cecily a few fun behaviors. Cecily will raise a wing on cue for tickles, knows how to do big bird and wave, and we've taught him to pass out his own cards. Recently, he's also taken up painting with a little help from a friend. The most requested behavior seems to be talking, but this really isn't Cecily's best talent. These types of things can help break the ice with someone that's new to birds. Safety is always the most important factor at any visit, and as a handler, it's your responsibility. It's a really great idea to have a barrier on hand, like a towel or a blanket for your bird's nails, however trim they might cause accidental scratches on the client. It's also really important for you to be paying close attention to your bird's body language. As a prey animal, sometimes odd things can scare them, such as a child with a balloon or someone running up too fast. If you are aware of your surroundings and are watching your bird's body language carefully, you can avoid an incident by communicating with those around you and resolving the issue proactively. These are two good examples of barriers. Buddy uses a towel between his feet and the client's legs during a reading session to make sure there are no scratches. Another effective barrier is space. By keeping Cecily on my legs while the children read, there's no chance of an accidental scratch, but he's still quite close. It also protects him from accidentally being bonked with a book, which I'm pretty sure he appreciates. We have found the work we do as Pet Partners Therapy Team to be so incredibly rewarding. It means so much to the people we work with and is obvious in the smiles from the kids and the sweet notes we get. We are so fortunate to have this incredible opportunity to share our time with the community and make a difference in the lives of others. If you keep parrots, you know one of the biggest challenges is keeping them mentally enriched, and working with as a therapy animal offers Cecily a really great enrichment opportunity between meeting new people, seeing new places, training, and more. As we venture out into the community, we have a chance to spread a fantastic message about birds as companion animals and what they are capable of and why their wild counterparts are important as well. They truly are colorful companions, and Pet Partners helps us share that love with the world.
Thank you, Kate. Hi, everyone. My name is Biljana Yakova, and I'm the manager of the Therapy Animal Program at Pet Partners. Now that you have learned about the many wonderful ways in which you can volunteer with your bird, allow me to provide an overview of the process for becoming registered with Pet Partners. The wonderful website and online volunteer center, which we launched in July of 2015, allow the handler to decide the pace at which their registration is processed. If you have an interest in becoming registered with your bird, you can create a profile in our volunteer center and start a registration today. You'll gain access to our complete resource library and a variety of useful materials, and you can complete the registration steps at your own pace. To get started, go to the Pet Partners website, which is petpartners.org. When you open the home page, you will see a menu of options horizontally across the top of the page. Point to the option which says Volunteer, and a menu will drop down. Next, click on Volunteer Center. The Volunteer Center is the portal within our website, which contains all resources you may need as a handler. This is also where you can start and manage your registration. The first time you visit our Volunteer Center, you will need to create an account. This step is free and very easy. You will provide your name, zip code, email address, and Pet Partners ID if you already have one. If you're a returning volunteer, please be certain to use the email address that Pet Partners has on file for you so we can properly match it to your existing account. Once you have logged into the Volunteer Center, you will see a menu on the right-hand side. That will be your primary navigation tool for accessing the many Volunteer Center options. To start a registration, please click on My Registrations and then select Start a New Registration. Starting a registration in our Volunteer Center takes only a few clicks. You don't have to wait until you have all the materials ready for submission. In fact, our online system is set up so that you have to start a registration in order to gain access to all of the resources you need to complete the process, such as the calendar where you sign up for a class or an evaluation. To start a registration, you need to provide basic identifying information about yourself and your animal. If you're under 18 years of age, you will be asked to provide the contact information for a parent or guardian so we can obtain their permission for participation in our program. If you're registering with someone else's animal, please provide us with the owner's contact information so we can confirm their permission. While there can be something magical about the interactions between humans and animals, there is actually a lot to know about how to accomplish that magical moment successfully. Our therapy animal program does not require specific training for the animal. However, we do ask that the handler go through specific training as part of the registration process. The Therapy Animal Handler course teaches you about the registration process, the skills needed to visit safely, different facilities and client populations, as well as pet partners' policies and procedures. Successful completion of this course in instructor-led or online format is required for registration as a therapy animal team. The same handler course applies regardless of the species of animal with which you're registering. At Pet Partners, the health and safety of your animal is important to us. In order to participate in the Therapy Animal program, your veterinarian must sign the animal health screening form provided by Pet Partners. Your animal should be in good health to participate and not currently taking any antibiotics, antifungals, or immunosuppressive medications. The facilities where you will be visiting want to ensure your animal will not pose a risk to any of their clients, so your animal should be free of internal and external parasites. Additionally, dogs, cats, horses, llamas, alpacas, and pigs must be vaccinated against rabies. This requirement does not apply to birds. You can obtain the most current version of the animal health screening form from our volunteer center. Evaluations are individual sessions with the prospective team and a licensed Pet Partners evaluator. They typically last about 45 minutes and resemble a role play, like what you might experience while you are on a visit. During the team evaluation, we'll be looking at how well the handler interprets and manages the animal's behavior and how well the animal responds to the handler. The emphasis is that the animal is under control at all times and the team inspires confidence in those it interacts with. You can get one of two scores on your evaluation, predictable or complex, depending on your team's performance. Complex teams are better suited to more dynamic situations where there is a higher level of activity and less staff involvement. Predictable teams visit in environments where the level of activity is appropriate for the team's ability level. Regardless of your evaluation rating, all teams benefit those they visit through AAA or AAT. At no time will your animal be put in a situation that is dangerous. The Pet Partners team evaluators who conduct the evaluations are trained by Pet Partners and know that the well-being of animals comes first, no matter what. At no point during the evaluation will animals be hurt or intentionally frightened. During the skills portion of the evaluation, the focus will be demonstrating basic obedience skills, even amid distraction. Your animal will need to calmly remain on a leash, respond to your cues, and not show aggression or excessive fear as you walk past the dog. Additionally, you'll need to interact and role-play with the evaluator while showing you can be attentive to your animal. In the aptitude portion of the evaluation, you will be assessed on how well you interact with the evaluator and evaluator's assistants as you simulate being on a visit. You'll be expected to help support and encourage your animal as they meet strangers, some of whom may be using medical equipment, speaking loudly, or moving erratically. This helps determine the most appropriate environment for you and your animal to visit. During this portion of the evaluation, how you demonstrate your handler skills will be as important as demonstrating the animal's aptitude. At the end of the evaluation, you will receive your evaluation score sheets, a 6-page document summarizing your results. As each of the registration materials are complete, such as the animal health screening form and the score sheets you receive from your evaluation, you can upload them to the evaluation center, up to the portion of the volunteer center where your registration lives. They will be reviewed by our team in the order received, typically within 5 business days. We also ask that you provide us with a photo of you and your pet to be used for issuing you a badge. If you're affiliated with a community partner, be sure to give us their ID number. Please carefully review the volunteer agreement and click to agree to its elements. When we receive all registration materials, you will be notified by email that your registration has been approved and is awaiting payment of the registration fee. Once we receive your payment, which can be easily and securely done online, you will receive an acceptance letter via email and can start visiting right away. There are many benefits to becoming registered with Pet Partners. Some of them include our $2 million primary liability insurance that you have while volunteering. You also receive identification badge for handler and a collar tag for the animal, access to free continuing education courses that help you be more effective while visiting clients, referral to facilities searching for therapy animal teams, Pet Partners Interactions magazine, access to licensed evaluators and instructors as local resources, support from the Pet Partners office, and you will also have the satisfaction of helping people in need in your own community. The greatest benefit is knowing that you are a part of the highly esteemed program that set the standards for incorporating animals in medical care. Thank you so much for your time today and for your interest in learning about volunteering with your bird. At this time, we'll be happy to answer questions from participants.
You may submit questions using the Contact Us link on the website. Thank you.